In 2023, St. Thomas Aquinas Chesikaki Secondary School, perched on the slopes of Mount Elgon in Bungoma County, hit national headlines when 54 girls were found pregnant in a single year. A tragic reflection of Kenya's adolescent triple threat: teenage pregnancy, new HIV infections, and gender-based violence. But today, the story is slowly shifting. Thanks to targeted interventions, many of those girls have been reintegrated into school. Some sat their national exams, and a number now dream of joining university. It is just 6 a.m. in Chimundi village, deep in the foothills of Mount Elgon. The air is crisp, carrying the smell of wet earth and wood smoke. Inside a dimly lit mud-walled house, 17-year-old Angela, whose real name has been withheld, begins her day in silence, her morning unfolding with the precision of survival. Nursing her baby, boiling strong black tea with no bread, splashing her face with cold water, then slipping into her faded school uniform. Each movement heavy with the weight of motherhood, yet fueled by the stubborn hope of a girl refusing to let her dreams die. After a simple breakfast, she oils her face, ties her worn shoelaces, and steps out of the door, pausing only to receive a whispered goodbye and blessings from her mother. On most mornings, Angela walks 10 kilometers to and from school on the rugged mountain paths. But today, she is running late. To keep her from missing lessons, we boarded a motorcycle for her. This is a brief reprieve from the long journey that defines her life as a student and a mother of leaving home early morning in the dark and coming back late in the evening again in the dark. Angela's struggle is part of a bigger crisis. From the 54 girls who were reported pregnant, 31 were already mothers, 20 were expectant, and 3 had dropped out of school entirely. The tragedy was more than numbers. It was the shattering of teenage dreams, the quiet barring of ambitions, and a stark reminder of how poverty, cultural taboos, and silence around sexual and reproductive health conspire against the adolescent girls, a reality made worse by Kenya's triple threat of teenage pregnancy, new HIV infections, and gender-based violence. Angela got pregnant when in Form 2. Fear and shame nearly drove her to a dangerous abortion attempt. Instead, she survived, and with her mother's support, she returned to school.
Mimi nilijua mwenyewe kuna mimba, kaambia kijana akajua, but akaniambia nifikia time nitajifungua. Kaenda shule kwa nikasoma, but mimi sikuwa nataka. Nikajaribu kutoa, nikapatikana hosi, then nikampigia simu akakuja, ndo baadaye mamangu akakuja. Ndivyo ndo mamangu akajua. Nilijifungua, naona acha mamangu mtoto, nikikuja shule, jioni narudi, ndo nimnyonyesha. Nashukuru mamangu kwa kukubali kunibebea mtoto nirudi shule juu hata wengine si unaona huko hivi nje wamejifungua, but hakuna mzazi mwenye anataka kukaa na mtoto. Anasema venye ujifungua ukae na mtoto wako juu hujataka kusoma. Mimi mamangu akakubali akabaki na mtoto. Sasa at least naenda shule nikisoma, nikijua tu mtoto wangu nimemwacha kwa 7. Juu mama yako tu obviously atakulindia mtoto. Kama mamangu tu ndio mimi namwamini, anaweza nilindia mtoto vizuri. Namshukuru kwa kubali, amenilindia mtoto wangu vizuri. Nasoma ili nitimize malengo yangu kuwa mwalimu wa Kiswahili. Siku moja nikuje nifunze mtoto wangu mimi mwenyewe. Anisaidie mamangu.
In Chimundi village, one mother's voice echoes sacrifice, resilience, and hope. Despite poverty and heartbreak, Gladys Demuko refuses to give up on her daughter Angela, who became a mother at just 16. Through struggles and prayers, she works tirelessly, believing education is their path to a brighter future. She is confident that her daughter will excel in this year's KCSE exams, join university, and fulfill her dream of becoming a teacher.
Wakati yenye mtoto wangu alipata mimba, nilikuwa nimelipia school fees. Nilipitia changamoto mpaka nikashutuka, nikafika mahali nikachipa moyo, nikasema enyewe imetendeka, lakini wacha Mungu ampiganie, ajifungue vema. Na uzuri Mungu alisimama naye, akajifungua vema. Na nikampa mashauri ya kwamba wacha mimi nishike mtoto na wewe urudi shule, kwa sababu ukamilisha maono yako. Kwa sababu elimu ni kitu cha maana, kwa sababu ukitia maanani pia nami utanitoa mahali na uniweke mahali pazuri. Wakati yenye mtoto sasa napitia changamoto kununua maziwa, nikaona nikuwe na pesa. Ngine naweza enda kibarua ndio ninunua maziwa. Bila alipata mimba, akasema mama nimekosa, lakini nikijifungua nitaendelea na masomo yangu. Na pia mimi nikafurahi, ikanipa moyo. Licha ya ugumu ya pesa, lakini niling'ang'ana mpaka vile alijifungua akarudi shule. Nikampeleka shule, nikabaki na mtoto kama ako tu na mwezi mmoja, na nikamuendeleza tu akikunywa maziwa, akirudi jioni akimnyonyesha.
Evelyn, her real name withheld, is in Form 3 and like other names in Mount Elgon, shares the same struggle. Her journey has been marked by hardship. Her father died when she was just 9 years old, leaving her mother to raise the family alone. Poverty became a daily companion. Without enough money to cater for her basic needs, especially sanitary pads, Evelyn was vulnerable. At 16, a boy offered her money during a sports event. That moment set off a chain of events that altered Evelyn's life completely. The money she accepted to buy sanitary pads soon led to a relationship that left her pregnant at just 16 years old. She became pregnant just before sitting for her KCPE exams in 2022 after being impregnated by a Form 3 student. But her story did not end there. Evelyn's mother refused to let her education slip away. She took care of the baby by washing, feeding, and clothing him so that she could return to class.
Nilipata ujauzito nikiwa katika darasa la 8 kabla sijaukalia mtihani wangu wa kitaifa. Wakati ule nilikuwa naishi na sister yangu, mama alikuwa mbali kidogo. Wakati nilijulikana niko na ujauzito, mama alikuja, then wakanishughulikia kujua nani amenifanyia vile. Wakati mtihani wa matokeo ya mtihani ilitoka, ilijulikana kwamba nimepita. Then mama akaona lazima tu nitaendelea na masomo. Akaamua yeye atakaa na mtoto, then mimi nikuje shule. Kwa sababu mtoto alikuwa mchanga, akanileta shule ya karibu ambapo nitakuwa naenda jioni nyumbani. Kwa hiyo harakati akanishughulikia, nikajoin na kila kitu. Nikiwa nikienda nyumbani kila jioni. Nikifika nyumbani itakuwa amenisaidia kazi, ameosha mtoto, amempa maziwa, ninaweza mnyonyesha, then nioshe sare zangu.
At school, she found encouragement through guidance and counseling sessions organized by the school and well-wishers and basic support like sanitary pads. Most classmates embrace her, though a few still mock her. For Evelyn, education is the only path out of poverty. Her resilience and her mother's sacrifice have given her a second chance at life.
Kwa shule nimepata usaidizi mkubwa. Tunasaidiwa after 1 month, tunasaidiwa sanitary pads na madam zetu, ambapo inatusaidia katika hiyo hali ya wasichana. Na usaidizi pia tunapewa mashauri kutoka kwao, tunapokea kwa wingi. Na tumesoma kuvumilia pia.
In Kimama village Cheptais, 21-year-old Faith, whose real name has been withheld, is living the life of a young mother, her childhood interrupted by pregnancy at just 15 years old. It was July 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. Her life changed forever. She gave birth in April 2021. The boy who fathered her child visited only once with 700 Kenyan shillings when in labor ward at Cheptai Sub-County Hospital and never returned. Faith repeated Form 1, studied all the way to Form 4, and against all odds, scored a C- in her KCSE. She is hoping to get a well-wisher who can help in paying tuition fees at a medical college where she wants to study a course in nursing.
Nilipopata ujauzito ulikuwa wakati wa corona. Sasa ilikuwa mwezi wa 7, nikarudi shule. Kidogo nikasumbuliwa na hali, nilikuwa natumwa school fees shuleni. Sasa nikakuwa hiyo harakati ya kutembea kutoka shule kurudi hivyo, nikaona nachoka, nikaamua kukaa tu nyumbani mpaka wakati nilijifungua. Nilijifungua mwezi wa 4 2021. Sasa nilijifungua nikakaa nyumbani, nikanyonyesha mtoto mwezi wa 5, wa 6 mpaka wa 7. Alafu 2021 kuna group ilikuwa ina join mwezi wa 8 Form 1. Nikajoin nao. Ni mamangu amekuwa anakaa na yeye tangu nijifungue mpaka saa hizi wenye ameanza kwenda shule mwezi wa 4, mwezi wa 5, like ni term 2 ndo ameingia shule, ako PP1.
With Faith's father insisting she should get married, it was her mother Helen Juma who became her strongest defender. Faith, who wants to study, regrets not taking her mother's advice of staying at home during the pandemic, but insisted on going to her aunt's place. While there, she met her boyfriend, barely dated for a month, before she got pregnant.
Nilikuwa namsumbua tu, like ni kama ilikuwa stage. Sasa mimi nikawa nikiambiwa sisikii, naona ni kama mama ni mbaya hivyo. Nikatoka nikasema naenda kwa shangazi, kukaa kwa shangazi. Nikaenda kukaa kwa shangazi. Sasa kwenda huko ndo nikakutana na huyo kijana. Kukutana naye hivi, hata sikumaliza naye mwezi mmoja, ikawa amenipea ujauzito. Sasa mimi sikujua. Nikakuja huku nyumbani. Sasa venye nilirudi, nilikaa kwa shangazi mwezi mmoja, nikarudi nyumbani. Kurudi nyumbani walikuwa wanatairi kijana mwenye mimi namfuata. Sikuwa najua niko na mimba. Nilikaa mwezi mmoja ndo nikajua niko na mimba. Sasa kuambia huyo kijana niko na mimba, akasema, nikamwambia mimi sasa nitakaa aje na hii mimba, nipe pesa mimi nitoe hiyo mimba. Nilimwambia hivyo. Akaniambia siwezi kupea pesa, hata hiyo mimba sijui kama ni yangu, sijui. Akaanza tu hivyo. Sasa mimi nikakaa, nikafikisha miezi 4, mamangu akajua niko na mimba. Hivyo akaniambia kaa ujifungue na urudi shule. Alafu yeye hiyo wakati sasa mimi nilikuwa Form 1, yeye alikuwa Form 2.
But at home, the greatest challenge was Faith's father. When news of the pregnancy broke, he dismissed it with cold words. "That's not my business, it's your problem." He offered no support, not then and not now. Left alone, her mother sought help. She reported the matter to the school, the local chief, and even the police.
Nikaenda straight kwa polisi, nikaelezea Gobral mwenye alikuwa. Nikamwelezea na boma. Akaniambia na hiyo boma, huyo kijana hana mama, hana baba, wanakaa na shosho. Nani ndiye atakusaidia sasa? Nikasema sijui. Akaniambia na ulikuwa unatakaje? Nikamwambia mimi kwa sababu mtoto wangu ni mwanafunzi na ni mdogo, afadhali niwaingize ndani. Akaniambia una ukweli unaweza kufunga wale jamaa? Nikamwambia nawafunga. Ati kwa nini? Nikamwambia ni mtoto wangu, ni mdogo. Na akaniambia kitu kilioko ni hii, huyo kijana anasoma, ako Form 1. Msichana yako pia ako Form 1. Unanisikia? Nikamwambia nimesikia. Pili, hao watoto, hao kijana hana wazazi. Wazazi wake waligawana, walitengana. Sasa mwenye utafunga ni babu na shosho. Sasa vitu kama hivyo haitawezekana mama. Lakini tulikuwa tunakuomba kama pia sisi ni wasasi, enda ukae na msichana wako ajifungue na arudi shule. Nikamwambia sasa sifanye shughuli yoyote. Akaniambia hata ukifanya shughuli yote hakuna mwenye atakusaidia hapa, sababu hao watoto wanajishughulikia, wanaenda kibarondi wakule na nyanya yao. Niliamua nikarudi mpaka hapa nyumbani, nikakaa, nikaambia msichana, sasa mimi kitu kilioko nitafanya namna gani? Pia akaniambia, mama, utawashtaki kwa sababu mimi niko na mimba yao, wenyewe wajue vile wananisaidia. Ukweli nilimwambia msichana wangu, mimi hii shughuli yote ni mimi peke yangu na baba afanye, na kitu ile nitafanya lenye nitaweza. Kama kwenda sasa kwa baba yake mwingine, ninapojaribu kusukuma baba yake aenda aongee na wale watu wajue kijana wao amekosea msichana wangu, baba hataki. Nikatumia shemeji mwingine, akasukumana na yeye mpaka wakaenda kule. Walipoenda kule wakauliza, kijana ule alikubali. Nyanya yake na babu yake pia wakasema pia tumekubali, kama makosa ni yetu tumekubali. Na nikangoja jibu watoke nalo huko. Sikupata jibu. Walikuja tu wakaniambia kijana amekubali. Na nikauliza lingine la kufuata ni nini? Wakaniambia msichana akae tu akiwa anajisikia anaweza enda kukaa na bwana yake. Hiyo ilikuwa ni jibu kutoka kwa baba. Ukweli iliniuma na nikaona maasifu niko single parent.
In Bungoma, teenage pregnancy rate has climbed up to 19%, which is way far above the national average of 15%. This is according to the Kenya Demographic Health Survey, KDHS, 2022 report. According to Ministry of Health, Bungoma recorded 14,054 pregnancies among girls aged 10 to 19 in the year 2021. There were 12,103 cases in 2022 and 7,466 cases between January and July 2023. Cumulatively, between January 2016 to August 2023, Bungoma County has recorded 1,006,982 pregnancies of girls aged between 10 to 19 years. The county also ranks among the most affected regions by the triple threat. Between 2016 and July 2023, the county recorded 9,089 cases of sexual and gender-based violence involving girls aged 10 to 17 compared to 18,510 cases nationally.
The culture, and particularly the culture I will mention, is circumcision. For example, when we started crying 2023, that was the number. 2024, from Form 1, it reduced to 2. So we had only 2 cases. And remember now, 2024, it was the circumcision year. And in this region, it is carried around between November to December. And then now, the result came 2025 as we are talking. When we opened by the end of first term, the cases of pregnancy again rose from 2 to around 6. By the time we were closing second term, it rose again to 11. And as we are talking to 11, almost all of them have delivered. And this is now we are entering September. It means all these pregnancies happened either November or December during the circumcision period. 2024, 2023, we had no circumcision period and we managed to get 2. But 2024, the period, 2025, we are getting this number.
According to the guidance and counseling teacher, for many girls, the journey to school is fraught with risk. Long walks leave them exposed, while poverty opens doors to exploitation. Even something as basic as lacking sanitary pads has pushed some into risky situations, costing them their childhood and leading to unwanted pregnancies.
Our catchment area sometimes is so far, so they walk a distance like 1 hour. You can imagine we have left school like 5 p.m. They will reach home around 8, others around 7. In the morning, they are walking back, and on the way, we can imagine what happened. That is a big challenge to us as a day school, and particularly for girls. Some of the pregnancy cases, why I'm saying like that, sometimes we think this child is on her way back to home, but she's in the middle of the road. Sometimes we think that they are coming back to school, only to realize the next day she didn't even reach school. That is a challenge. And then number 2, I can call a parental challenge in parenting. Let me not say parental negligence. Sometimes it is a challenge taking care of a car. There are needs you have to meet. They need sanitary towels. They need all those perfume, soap, and you can name whatever. And this region, for some years I've sat here, the poverty index is at a high level. So we find a challenge. Some of our parents are unable even to provide a single sanitary towel. And that one brought a challenge to us as one of the reasons these girls may involve themselves in early sexual behavior.
When St. Thomas Aquinas Chesikaki Secondary School Principal Paul Boyer joined in June 2023, he expected the usual hurdles of a new posting. Instead, he found a crisis that shook him. Just 2 weeks in, school captains confronted him with a blunt question. What is your plan for the many girls in school who are pregnant?
As a new principal, I was visited by the school captains, and to my surprise, after we had interacted with them, they had a very strong concern, and they came and asked me what plan I had on girls who are pregnant. To my surprise, I had not known that this school had girls who was pregnant. And when I drew concern to the teacher in charge of counseling, we went into records, and to my surprise, on documentation, I came to learn that we had about 31 girls who were already mothers, and by that time, then we had 20 girls who were expectant.
Teenage mothers were juggling motherhood and lessons. Expectant girls battled health challenges while sitting exams. Realizing the crisis was too big for the school alone, Mr. Boyle reached out. The Ministry of Education, local leaders, and well-wishers joined in. Support came from groups like the National Council for Population Development, NCPD, Jilinde Foundation, the Kenya Red Cross, and among other corporate partners. They provided mentorship, counseling, and sanitary pads.
It wasn't very easy to go through that ordeal because it was quite unusual that girls who are already mothers would find time amidst their studied time to go and breastfeed. Those who are already expectant had several challenges in their lives because managing their state and classroom. Many other organizations came in which offered a mentorship program. I want to say I thank God for National Council of Population and Development. Since 2024, the school went into partnership, and we were identified as a center of excellency in terms of advocacy against early teenage pregnancy and the triple T threats.
Girls, once counted among teenage mothers, are now excelling in their exams. Some of those girls went on to colleges, TVETs, even universities, proof that teenage mothers can still succeed with a second chance. And for sustainability, the principal says,
There's other things that we have not yet achieved. Initially, when we had issues that came in, resolutions that came from the board that there was an urgent improvement, that we needed a safe house to take care of the girl child. So far, that one has not been achieved. We have other infrastructural improvement that were to be done by the school, so that they can make this school a child-friendly school, so that the children can keep on being in school, because the only safe place for the children most of the time we have, with my experience, is that it is the school, so that they have little time outside where they idle, where they can be found maybe with the challenges outside. I want to call upon my colleagues who are getting me that all is not lost. What is needed is to identify and come out. It wasn't very easy for you to come out and see the problem. I want to encourage them, let them not hide on problems. Let them learn from St. Thomas Aquinas Chesikaki. All is possible. Let us give all the children a second chance.
Teenage pregnancy has long been rampant in Bungoma County, but here in Mount Elgon, the numbers are particularly alarming. According to Jennifer Chimtai Mbatiani, the Bungoma County Deputy Governor, to tackle the crisis, the county has rolled out a new gender-based violence policy. Safe houses will soon be set up in health facilities, offering vulnerable girls refuge in times of danger.
I come from Mount Elgon, that is one. And as I grew up, I saw how girls were marginalized, how they remained home while the boy child went to school, how they were married off at early age. And that really gave me a burden to advocate for the girl child. And ever since, as I was still a young girl, I had the passion. So the issues of teenage pregnancies, as you know, it has been rampant in Bungoma County, but more so in Mount Elgon, because that is the region that is leading even at the moment. And as a county government, we have put so much in place to ensure that we tackle the issue, or we really put it to an end. First of all, the county government has put in place policies. We have the GBV, gender-based violence. And in this policy, we want to address the issue whereby we want to have safe houses put in all our health facilities. If it is not all, maybe in all sub-counties, so that we have safe houses where girls can run to for help in case they have a problem, because we have realized many girls have really suffered. You know, when they get problems, they don't know where to run to. But if we have safe houses where they can be guided, they can be counseled, I think that would be the best place for them to run to. Again, in that policy, we want to see how we can strengthen the gender technical working groups. That is bringing on board all stakeholders who are working on issues of GBV, so that we can sit on a round table, have a discussion, and see what we can do together. Jeskaki, that indeed it's a success story. And when it was reported last time that there were 54 girls pregnant, all of us, we got out of our offices and we went round doing a lot of sensitization. And what we are still doing up to now is doing follow-up, just to get to know what is going on. And I'm happy to report that recently I spoke to the principal, and he gave me very encouraging news that right now there is no single pregnant case in the school. And I was like, is it true? And he said yes. So I was like, what happened? What did you do? And he told me the sensitization training or meeting that we took to Chesikaki, where we brought on board other stakeholders, really helped in changing the perspective of the parents. Because one thing we realized during that sensitization meeting is that we had parenting challenges where parents had abdicated their duties, they were not supporting their children. We realized some parents were, were drunkards. They could not even care whether their children get the basic needs or not. And that is how the girls now try to find help from other quarters. And by doing that, they find themselves in wrong hands, and that is how they get these pregnancies.
In Cheptai sub-county, teenage pregnancy has long threatened girls' education. Teachers cite poverty, lack of sanitary pads, and cultural practices like circumcision festivities as key drivers. Yet, officials say interventions such as mentorship, community dialogue, and material support are beginning to turn the tide, keeping more girls in school and hopeful.
Most of these girls become victims of circumstances because of poverty, and yet this area is not poor. That means they are not provided for in terms of personal effects, and so they will turn to border boys and other people to get their needs met. And I think that is what brings them to issues of early pregnancy and early marriages during the circumcision period, where there is a lot of influence between the border, across the border and here, that they have almost similar cultural practices, where women and girls would be following those boys and girls, dancing around, and they can go as far as where they are going. To me, that means the home has been left unattended, because mothers are running around after those boys, the girls have joined them. And in the course of time, there's a lot of promiscuity, there's a lot of dirty activities which lead to pregnancies eventually. If the parent did provided for their children, they limit the temptation for these girls to look for favors from men. Basically, that is it. Just provide the basic needs. That is what they're missing. Because if I've provided for my daughter, then I have a right to ask this girl why she's not in school, or why she would run after somebody. But these ones give reasons like, I didn't have sanitary towels, I didn't have this, and I didn't have that. So they can easily be carried away and be influenced by men.
Through mentorship, counseling sessions, and community dialogues led by the National Council for Population and Development, NCPD, girls once written off as lost causes found hope. Many returned to class, sat for their KCSE, and now dream of joining university, a testimony when given a second chance, one can thrive again. NCPD's mentorship program in Mount Elgon united teachers, parents, and community to tackle teenage pregnancy fueled by poverty and neglect.
2023, there were high cases of teenage pregnancy and early pregnancy that was reported in one school. Around 54 cases were reported in 1 year. And that school is St. Thomas Aquinas in Chesikaki, Mount Elgon. So after that reporting, or that's what you call hue and outcry from the school, the national government, through the National Council of Population Development, in partnership with the county government of Bungoma, started a mentorship program in that school. In partnership with the county government of Bungoma, was intended to make sure or to ensure that there was no teenage pregnancy in Bungoma County. So the mentorship program started with one, sensitization of the teachers, sensitization of the parents, and creation of awareness among the communities in the region. First, we highlighted the number of cases, We looked at what were the major causes of the issue of the pregnancies, and then we shared the story with the parents, the teachers, and the community. What initially we found out was that majority of the community were aware of the teenage pregnancy, but were not well informed about the high teenage pregnancy in the school. And when we shared with them and with the numbers, they narrated the causes of the teenage pregnancies in the school. Number one is neglect or poor parental guidance. Number two, they also narrated about the issue of poverty, cultural issues, and other social economical challenges that the society faces. But they also reported issues to do with historical injustice, especially wars, fights, especially the Mount Elgon, what you call militia fights there that was happening, that also precipitated or led to issues to do with high gender-based violence. And again, the other thing also they reported was lack of awareness, especially on issues to do with reproductive health and sexual reproductive health. Was a mentorship with the girls and a mentorship program also for the boys. And then we formed a technical working group at the county level and even at the community level. With that sensitization and the mentorship program is that since that cases where 54 teenage pregnancies were reported, up to now, for the last 2 years, there have never been a single pregnancy in that school. So it's important as a nation and as a country, we must approach these vices with all efforts, all interventions through a multi-sectoral coordinations and interventions like what we have done as the National Council for Population and Development, where we need to have at school levels, at community levels, and at all levels of leadership. So generally what I can say that teenage pregnancy and adolescent pregnancies are vices that we need to eradicate, and we need to eradicate them as soon as possible. Otherwise, we will lose many of our young people, contribution to our national development.
The story of Chesikaki Secondary School is more than numbers on a chart. It is the lived reality of young girls forced into adulthood too soon. From Angela's struggle to balance motherhood in school, to Evelyn's lost dreams and Faith's fight to defy the odds, the crisis of teenage pregnancy continues to rob Kenya's daughters of their future. Yet, in the resilience of these girls, the efforts of their teachers and the renewed focus from government and partners lies hope. A hope that with stronger action, no girl will have to choose between her childhood and her education. For Willow Health Stories, I am Sarah Kamande.